Hello everyone, welcome you all in this video lecture. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the drug Metformin, which is used to cure type 2 diabetes. So let's start with some basic information and definition of Metformin. So basically, Metformin is an oral diabetic medicine. It helps to control blood sugar levels in human body. So it is used together with diet and physical and mental exercises to improve the blood sugar level or to control the blood sugar in adults which are suffering from type 2 diabetes mellitus. It is used to control blood sugar in patients who are suffering from type 2 diabetes. And it is the first line medication for the treatment of type 2 diabetes, which means that it is the initial or best medicine for type 2 disease. Now here we can see the structure of Metformin. Here we can see the Metformin has the chemical name of 1,1-dimethyl biguanide. In this diagram we can see the structure of Metformin, which consists of 4 carbon chains and amino group in its chain. The formula of Metformin is C4H11N5 and it is known as Metformin hydrochloride, which is fully soluble in water, slightly soluble in ethanol but insoluble in acetone and ether. So Metformin was first described in 1922 by Emil Warner and James Bell. Later in 1929, Slater and co-workers found its sugar lowering action in rabbits. So after that, many research are completed in Metformin and now it is used as a first line disease controlling medicine for type 2 diseases. So now let's understand the uses of Metformin. So Metformin is an oral medicine which is taken orally. It is found as a syrup or as a pills and it is mainly used to treat type 2 diabetes. The type 2 diabetes caused in human body and it disturbs the blood sugar levels in human bodies. And another function of Metformin, it is used to cure PCOD and PCOS, which is also called as polycystic ovary syndrome, which is very common disease in females. So these are the uses of Metformin. So as we have discussed in our previous slides that Metformin is used to cure type 2 diabetes. So let's understand what is type 2 diabetes and why it is caused. So basically it is a chronic condition, which means it is a lifelong or very long condition of disease which results in the too much sugar circulation in our body. So basically we know that we engulf sugar or carbohydrates in our food and this glucose or sugar molecules are metabolized with the process of glucose metabolism in the process of cellular respiration in our mitochondria. So in the process of glucose metabolism, a hormone named as insulin helps to move these sugar molecules into our cells. So in the case of type 2 diabetes, there are primarily two interrelated problems which cause this disease. The first problem is the pancreas does not produce enough insulin. So if the pancreas should not produce enough insulin, so our cells can't absorb the glucose or they can't produce much ATP. And the second cause is cell respond poorly to insulin and take less sugar. In this condition, maybe pancreas produce enough insulin, but our cells can't respond due to some signaling effects or many other effects, and that's why they take less sugar and they produce less ATP. Now the type 2 is the most common type of diabetes. According to a data, there are about 29 million people in United States which are suffering from type 2 diabetes, and many other like 84 million have pre-diabetes, which means their blood sugar is high but not high enough to be diabetes yet. So by this data we can assume that how common this disease is. So with the help of this diagram, let's understand the condition of type 2 diabetes in our body. So here we have two conditions. The first one is normal condition and the second one is diabetic condition. So in the normal condition we can see our pancreas produces insulin, and these insulin molecules help to move glucose to the cell, and after this cell absorb these glucose molecules and then proceed to the cellular respiration process and convert these glucose molecule into ATP. But in the condition of diabetes or in a diabetic patient, the pancreas produces less insulin, and this insulin is not enough to move all the glucose molecules from the blood into our cells. So in this condition, the concentration of glucose increases in our blood, and in the cells enough ATP production cannot perform. So now let's understand the functions of metformin in our body. So as we know, it helps to prevent and to cure type 2 diabetes. So how it do this? So basically, it decreases the hepatic glucose in our body, or it can decrease the glucose level of our liver in our body. And the second function is it decreases the intestinal absorption of glucose, because we know that in the condition of type 2 diabetes, the insulin production is not enough to move all glucose molecules from blood cells to the cells so that they can be metabolized by the process of glucose metabolism. So it decreases the intestinal absorption of glucose to prevent the increase of glucose molecules in our blood. The third function of metformin is it increases the insulin sensitivity for our cells. Now let's know that what is insulin. So insulin is a peptide hormone, which means it is a chain of amino acids which is produced by the pancreatic glands of our body, and it is the hormone which helps to remove extra sugar from blood, and also we can say that it helps to maintain the sugar level in our body. So now let's understand the mode of action of metformin, or how it cures the type 2 diabetes. So the proper mechanism of the action of metformin is not yet known, but it is known that metformin alters the energy metabolism of the cell, because we know that in the condition of type 2 diabetes, our cell do not produce enough ATP, so it is necessary to alter the energy metabolism of the cell. And the metformin lowered the glucose level by inhibiting hepatic gluconeogenesis and oppose the action of glucagon. We know that glucagon works opposite of the hormone insulin. So it opposes the action of glucagon. That's why it helps to control or maintain the blood sugar levels in our body. Metformin also acts by the inhibition of mitochondrial glycerophosphate dehydrogenase. So now let's understand the side effects of metformin. We know that it is a tablet or syrup which can be taken orally to prevent and to cure type 2 diabetes. But there are some side effects of metformin also, and the major side effect is lactic acidosis. We know that here the metformin what do? It increase the production of lactic acid in our body. So it produces lactic acidosis sometimes, which can be fatal. Besides this, there are several other side effects like unusual muscle pain, feeling cold, trouble in breathing, stomach pain, dizzying, diarrhea, irregular heart rate, sometimes slow or sometimes high. Sometimes it also causes low blood pressure and nausea. So these are some side effects which are caused by metformin.